Hi everybody, Gert Louw from Cape Town. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick rundown as to my adventure I had the past 3 weeks. Me and family went to Thailand in Phuket. Then we went to the Fiji Islands. And lastly, we went to Dubai. So before I give you the rundown, let me quickly give you some insight as to how I handle and what I do in respect of eating healthy and, well, continuing with my training when I'm on a break like this. First of all, I don't do this competitively. My fitness aspect of my life is purely for self-satisfaction, and I want to be healthy and I want to look good. So obviously, I think this would be different for guys that is on a more competitive level. Now, when I take a break on many levels. It allows me to take a week or 2 week breaks, let's say once or twice a year. And then when I'm back, I just get back to the normality of following my system again. Now, my eating patterns, that's where the big thing comes in, is that I never ever stuff myself. So I would enjoy my food. I would cut out my carbs as far as I can. So no rice, no pasta, and generally just cut out carbs the best I can. So I would continue on a more protein / veggie type of diet when I'm on holiday. But I don't say no to a nice dessert. I don't say no to a nice cocktail. But I never go overboard with alcohol either. I never exceed 2 glasses of wine per day. Simply just because it adds too much calories. And number 2, I don't like the feeling, when alcohol starts kicking in. I've never been drunk in my life. I just hate the idea of not being in control of my actions. So those are basically the rules that I follow. As far as training goes, oh my hell, it's supposed to be a break. Therefore, I do not train. But I must admit, there's a lot of activities, like snorkeling, diving, swimming, walking. Yes, we've been walking never so much in our life. So there's a lot of activities that keeps you generally fit, and burns calories. But the bottom line is I do not come back better looking than when I were going. So there's always a price to pay. But give me another 2, 3, 4 weeks maximum. Then I recover all the added fat and the lost muscle tone as a result of the 2-week break. But that 2-week break gives me such inspiration, just gives me inspiration. You need it. Okay. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So 16 days total in Phuket, Fiji Islands and Dubai. What was I looking forward to the most when we went on this trip? Thai curries. That's my favorite. Exotic scenery, the Dubai architecture. I love beautiful buildings. I wanted to see all those exotic cars in Dubai. I mean, everybody's talking about it. I mean, when you order a black Uber, then it's like a Bugatti that comes and pick you up and things like that. And then obviously I wanted to go to Dubai to buy my dream watch. I'm a watch guy. I've got about 10, 15 watches in my cupboard. Really, I mean, I love watches. Anyway, so let's see if the trip actually made the grade. It was my first time on Emirates. It's a long flight. It's like 9 hours from Cape Town to Dubai. And then you catch another flight there. It's another 6 hours to Phuket. So it's all in all 15 hours of flight with a couple of hours on Dubai airport itself. So obviously, one wants to do this in business class or first class. But geez, I found out the money aspect. And just to upgrade one flight from economy class to business class was the price of a good second-hand car in South Africa. Now, I mean, this is just crazy. I couldn't spend this kind of money. I would rather spend that money on something solid, like buying myself a nice watch or whatever. So we had to do with economy class and sitting cramped there. But at least I got an aisle seat and the food was okay. I love the headrest. You pull it out of the seat, and when you want to sleep, it supports your head very nicely. So that was a big plus for me. The entertainment system was okay. I watched a couple of movies. I enjoyed an Indian movie a lot. I think it's Judwar 2 or whatever. And there was no complications with the flight. So everything went smoothly there. Arriving in Phuket, yeah, there's people, and more people. Coming from South Africa, we used to open spaces and really much less people. Africa is a big open place, and you feel free here. But when you arrive in Asia and places like Phuket, you realize that, it's a complete different environment. We're not used to this kind of amount of people. So it was a total culture shock for me. We were immediately off to our hotel. We stayed in Sentara Karon. It's a 4-star hotel. Nothing crazy, but it's neat and clean and functional, but not impressive. Food and service was good. Just be prepared. Few people in Thailand understand English. I mean, really, we nearly got upset a couple of times, but you must realize, you're in a different country, and although English is considered to be international language, not all countries consider English, to be the feeder language. In South Africa, we do, so everybody here can understand and speak English, but it's not that in Thailand. Even the hotel staff, you struggle to communicate with. Even the managers on duty, you struggle to communicate with. So sometimes you just have to leave it and stop. If you've got a complaint, just let it go. And there's something wrong with the food, just let it go and choose something else. So the first night, we just put our luggage into the room, and immediately we went into the streets next to our hotel. Now, being in Phuket and where our hotel was situated, straight out of the hotel was this busy market, small shops, bars, restaurants, and the streets was buzzing. So it was a very nice experience to see Thailand, and the nightlife, and experience all the flavors, the smells, the sounds. Some of the shops, ask them, they got secret rooms, so they'll open it up for you. And in the secret rooms, they've got all kind of very nice branded clothing. I asked the lady, why is it in a secret room? She said, well, it's not legal in Thailand, and that's why they all got the secret rooms. Now you buy the clothing for extremely cheap. I bought tons and tons of clothing. You don't have to go into the secret room. There's even in just the normal shops, the clothing is really cheap. You could go to Thailand just for that. You will come back with a lot of luggage in clothing. Yeah, and so I eat Thai curries, and Thai curries. I've dreamed of this moment when I'm in Thailand and I can experience the real Thai curries. No, not like, the Thai shop down the road in Cape Town. I want real Thai curries. And it was amazing. There was about during my whole trip, 2 curries that I ate that completely blew me away. It was absolutely fantastic. Don't ask me what the names were of the curries. You have to experience it yourself. Order a lot of different stuff and so on. Some of them were hot, but there was not one that was so hot that I couldn't stand it, although I can stand quite a bit of hotness. Wine, crazy expensive in Thailand, but at least the local beer is not too bad. They call it Chang, and I had 1 or 2 of them. Just be wary. We encountered one scam. We lost 1,000 baht, where we pulled money from one of the cash machines in the streets. Don't do that. Go into either a shop, a good shop, like not one of the shady shops. The machine we used later on, after I investigated, I saw that the place where it's supposed to feed the money out to you was actually completely shut. You can't open it, and it can't be opened. So it's a machine standing there. When you pull your money, it deducts the money from your bank account, but it doesn't give you the money. So you're just going to lose your money, full stop. And trying to ask people around there to help you, I know they can't understand English, but then they really make it if they can't understand a word English. They can't even understand the word police. They don't know what you say when you say police. So you're just going to lose your money. Wife and kid did a Thai massage. I'm sorry, I don't let any woman, especially a Thai lady, touch me. Nothing against Thai ladies. In fact, they're beautiful, and therefore I don't allow them to touch me. I'm a very private guy, okay? I did the foot massage. That is in the streets where you walk. You put your feet into a tank of water, and there's all this little small fish in this tank, and they come and eat your feet clean. Or they massage your feet, whatever you want to call it. Now, afterwards, I was thinking, gee whiz, imagine all the dirty feet that went into this tank, and I'm putting my feet in here. But anyway, it was quite an experience when that little bugger start chowing on your feet. you're gonna go crazy the first time. It feels very, very strange. Okay, we did 2 excursions there. The one was Fantasia, widely advertised there and recommended by most tour operators. Uh, yeah, I believe it's a show that Eastern people and local people in Thailand will really enjoy. However, I did not. Neither did my wife and neither did my kids. It's a big theme park, very flashy, very plasticky. And you go and do a lot of shopping there in the theme park. There's lots of things to buy. There's games to play. There's elephant rides. And then you would go into this huge, I don't know what to call it, restaurant where you would eat a dinner, which the food was probably not too bad. But I hate the setup. I hate being put into long rows of people, and being force fed, basically getting in, getting out as quick as possible. I don't, that's not my kind of setup. I hate that kind of setup. So I didn't enjoy that. Then we went off to the actual concert in a huge, huge theater. Everything was so cramped. The queues where people stand, where you go and sit, there's no space to move. I mean, it's probably the way it is in the Eastern world and Asia. I don't know. Everybody's on top of each other, but they leave you no space to breathe. So I didn't enjoy the whole setup. The actual show, there was some good parts in the show, but it doesn't make the grade for me. Now, I've seen a couple of shows. The standard that we got in South Africa is very high. It didn't make the grade for me with that. So not for the Westerner, I would say. But I can see that, the local people and the Asians, it's something that they would enjoy. So it's a lot of money you spend for it. So I would say give it a pass. Sorry, Thailand. I don't mean to offend, but it wasn't for me. Then the second adventure we did, and now this I can recommend. It's called the John Gray Sea Adventures. Not cheap though, but I really think you must fork out every bit of money to be able to afford this, to go on this, because it's something you're going to remember for your whole life. You go onto this boat, not a bad boat. It's open. The whole boat is open, so you sit in where you can see as you drive. It's about a 2-hour drive on the sea from Phuket in the direction of the, let's call it, Phi Phi Islands, but you're not actually going to the Phi Phi Islands. You're just going to some of the small islands before that. Then the boats, there's lots of nice photo opportunities as you drive with the boat, obviously, because of the beautiful scenery and the islands that's popping up and so on. And then you stop where you visit a cave. You stop another time where you visit a cave, and a third time where you visit a cave. So you visit various caves. The way you visit the caves is when the boats stop, it would unload a lot of inflatable canoes that carry 3 people. Somebody would sit at the back with somebody would sit at the back driving the boats. And then 1 or 2 people can sit in the front. Now, me and my kids sit on one, and my wife had to sit on another one. And then they take you on the sea. The sea was not too rough, so it wasn't too bad. Then you would go rowing on the sea. Now, I'm complaining about the Thai people that doesn't understand. That's bad with their English, but my English sometimes sucks as well. Anyway, okay. Then you would go rowing. The guy at the back would do all the row work. You would just carry your camera or whatever and just enjoy the scenery. You either enter some of the small islands via a cave, or sometimes there's a crack in the side of the island. You would go through the crack and go through a path that they know, and eventually end up in the middle of the island. Well, I assume it's the middle of the island, with a beautiful open lake, a sea lake, with beautiful scenery, like tropical birds and everything. It's beautiful. The one cave that we went through was so incredibly low. I had to completely lie down, and the cave was scraping my nose. And now we had to stop at one point because there was a hold up, and I heard my wife's boat in front of me went psst, and I asked her, "Listen, wives, what's going on? Why are we stopping?" And she said, "Man, we can't pass. My boobs are too big. They had to deflate the boat." So I can understand that, because I hardly pass with my nose hitting the top of the wall. My son also had a bad experience. His GoPro was lying on his chest, and his GoPro catch the top of the roof of the cave, and it was pushing into his throat. Luckily, we wouldn't go very fast, so it's very, very slow operation because people can get hurt there. There's a lot of people that couldn't enter because they simply didn't fit through the cave opening. And but once you're inside, it's awe-inspiring. It's absolutely crazy beautiful. You have to be there. I'm putting up photos and videos for you here on this video. But I tell you, this is just a very small part of an experience. You have to be there to really experience it. We went to a bat cave, the other cave, and then one cave was completely dark that we paddled through, and the water had this type of plankton. I think it's a plankton. It's some other sea life that when you disturb the water, it glows. And that was beautiful, So as the guy was rowing with the paddles, it hits the water every time. It's like this flashlight going on. And when we play with the water with our hand, same thing, it would this beautiful bluish color would glow. So just before sunset, we're back on the boat. We ate a very nice seafood meal. I would have loved the meal to be actually on one of the small islands, where you're on stable ground and not on a boat. I don't like eating on a boat, because of the movement. I like to have a nice table, fork and spoon, and everything, and eat my meal the traditional way. But it was not bad. The food was not bad. Then, obviously, people were swimming. You could jump off the boat. The water is so warm. I don't know, but let's call it 27, 28, 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know, but it's not cold. It's very nice, clean water. And, people had a jolly of a time just jumping off the boat and swimming in the sea there. The last major thing we did in Thailand, in Phuket, was visiting one of the big markets, which is open, I think, until 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. And that is something you must not miss. You're going to spend easily 6-7 hours there. So go early, and take some money with you. The clothing and everything there is very, very cheap. Haggle with the price, don't just accept, compare prices and haggle. Sometimes you can save 50% and even more, we found, with the same item, just by looking around and haggling with people. And but what you must visit there is the food section. That is crazy. I mean, anything and everything, and the craziest food, and the way they prepare it, and how it's put out there. It's amazing. It's an experience. I'm so I'm upset that we didn't take actually more photos of the food market there. But we were a bit pressed for time, so we were just like running quickly through the food section to get into our taxi again. I didn't taste too much of those foods at that market. Simple reason, I've been through 2017 where I nearly died because of dirty water that I drank, so I'm not going to repeat any of that. But we did buy coconut pancakes, and that was quite nice. I loved that. Right, so now we were finished in Thailand, so we're off to Phi Phi Islands. And Phi Phi Islands, that's about, I can't remember, but let's say a 5-hour boat ride. So it's not short, or is it 3 hours? I don't know. But anyway, it's a longish boat ride. A huge boat, a lot of tourists sitting in the boat. So it's a ferry that's moving, and but not very safe. Actually, the day that we went on the boat, they told us that the previous day, and I saw it in the news, there was the same type of ferry on the same route that hit a very big wave and overturned, and more than 20 people apparently died. Now, I can believe that because when I saw the ferry and the inside of the ferry where all the people sit in those roads, it's a death trap. There is absolutely no window that can open. And if that boat overturns, I can't see how those people are going to get out. So what we did is we upgraded our ticket. It costs 300 baht per person. So you do that on the boat. I upgraded our ticket to first class. So in first class, obviously you got much more space, nice, better seating. But there's one window that can open. And that is where I went and sat down. So if that boat is going to overturn, I'm going to open this window and I'm going to get out of this window. So the sea was rough. Yeah, I can understand why the boat overturned the previous day. It was not a nice ride. They've got the on the counters there. It's stacks and stacks of seasick pills because this is the way it goes there. And I don't know. I think I drank about 5 seasick pills, and that even didn't help perfectly. But I didn't throw up. At least there was a lot of people that threw up. And some of the kids got very very scared during the ride. That I can also understand. It was a rough experience, both when we went there and when we got back to the mainland the next day. Right. So at Phi Phi Islands, we went to the Zavihola Resort. That's a 5-star hotel, so it's one of the better places to be. It's this old style Thai cottages. So everything wooden, uh, and you before you enter the restaurant, any place there, the main reception, your cottage, everything that you enter, before you enter it, you must take off your shoes and wash your feet. And then without your shoes, you enter the venue or whatever place you're going to. And it was beautiful, everything, the way it was laid out, the cottages itself, the style inside. So I couldn't complain. That was a nice experience. Service was good. Again, the people struggled to understand you. We had nice food there. We had some nice snorkeling there. Not the best, but good average snorkeling. Um, the bar was very nice on the beach. So there you just relax. There's not much activities that you really can do. We swim a bit and walked a lot, and that was about it. It's very expensive though. It's not on the main Thailand, so there's no shopping you can do. So you just have to eat at the restaurants they provide. And being a 5-star establishment, it's not cheap. So really, you're going to spend some money there. I couldn't order a wine there. Luckily, I brought 4 wines in our luggage from South Africa. So we just paid corkage. But even the corkage was 300 baht that we had to pay per bottles. So that's also quite a lot of money. Was it 300? No, I think it was 900 bahts that we had to pay per bottle. But anyway, it was a lot of money that we had to pay just to be able to open our own bottle. But that was still much cheaper than you would have paid for the cheapest bottle on their wine menu. And I don't want to drink the beer, I don't like the beer. But even the beer there was much more expensive than the mainland. The food was crazy expensive, but the food was good. I couldn't complain about the food. But that was a bit of an expensive experience. We enjoyed it. When we finished there, we went straight to Phuket and then off to Dubai. Oh, I forgot to mention, sheesh, mosquitoes, eh? Crazy. You must go prepared, but we went prepared, and that didn't help much. But probably it did help. It would have been much, much worse if we didn't went prepared. We took DEET with us, and applied it everywhere and every day, and it didn't help much. But the mosquitoes chowed us. It already started in Phuket, in Thailand, the mainland, but it got crazy bad at the Phi Phi Islands. Now that's in the middle of a tropical forest, on an island, and what do you expect? But the problem is there's 2 different types of mosquitoes. The one bites during the day and the one bites during the night. So you're never free of mosquitoes. They bite 24 hours a day. And it was so bad, my son had to get antibiotics because of all the mosquito bites, because our bodies are not used to that kind of mosquitoes there. That is a different type of mosquito. When that mosquito bites you, the reaction that your body has is that get this big sore. And my son had it all over, and it didn't look good, and it obviously didn't feel very good. So that was the bad part. So just be prepared, that you might suffer with that. My wife, she never gets bitten by these buggers, but me and my son, I don't. We probably got sweet blood or something. We get charred badly. Okay, so now we're off to Dubai. Again, Emirates. The flight was good. We landed at Dubai, and again, straight to the hotel. We were staying at the Grand Excelsior Hotel. It's a 4-star hotel. Beautiful building. I love the architecture, and good food, good service. Can't complain. Now, when you hit Dubai, it's a different world in terms of heat. It's crazy hot. I mean, dude, you know, I'm coming from Africa, so I know how hot it can get, but that is a different heat. The humidity was extremely high, and I think we were in excess, well in excess of 40 degrees Celsius. We a couple of times hit about 45 degrees Celsius. So you can't go outside a building there. I mean, there's nobody on the street. The streets are completely empty because you just can't go outside. The people are either in their aircon taxis or whatever, or cars, and otherwise in aircon buildings and shopping centers. And that is the way the people live in Dubai. It's a crazy expensive place. I mean, I don't think Dubai is cheap, you know. Yeah, sure, electronics might be cheaper there. My son had a very good deal that he got on a Samsung S9 Plus. He paid less than half what he would have paid in South Africa. So, but the rest, I'm telling you, the food and everything else, the clothing, everything, it is crazy expensive. Me and wife, we basically couldn't eat normal food there. We ate mostly just an egg or a soup or whatever was the cheapest on the menu. I mean, a normal burger is costing, oh, I don't want to exaggerate, but it's close to 7, 8, 9 times than what it costs in South Africa. Now, we can't pay that. That is crazy. I can't pay that for food. So that was probably a good diet, although I didn't really lose any weight. I still picked up fat there. We had a couple of buffets, you know, at our dinner buffets at our hotel, where the food was actually very good. It was really good, and then we made up for all the lost ground during all the other times. Coffee, we couldn't even drink coffee. It is anything for 5 to 10 times more expensive in Dubai than in South Africa. I couldn't get it over my heart to spend that amount of money on coffee. So we were just basically shopping with our eyes. Well, I did buy a couple of things. We went to Dubai Mall. That was our first day experience, and that's an incredible place. I mean, you have to visit it. It is awe-inspiring, number one, the route to the Dubai Mall, driving through the main city center, seeing all this beautiful architecture and these beautiful buildings. I mean, that is crazy. You don't feel like you're on planet Earth. It looks like Lego Town or something. It looks surreal. It doesn't look real. And so that I really, really, really appreciated. What I didn't appreciate, though, was that I had this expectation. Dubai's going to have Bugattis, Bentleys, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, you name it. You know, it's just going to be every second car. And dude, the whole Dubai is one Toyota town. It's just Toyota upon Toyota upon Toyota. I never saw so many Toyotas in my life. And I think Toyota is the most blandest car you can ever find on planet Earth. Nothing about Toyota is nice for me. I'm a Subaru man. I love Subaru or Subaru, whatever you want to call it. And so no Ferraris, no Lamborghinis, no Bentleys. Bentleys is my favorite car, by the way. So there I was extremely disappointed with that aspect of Dubai. I spoke to a couple of the locals and they told me, no, but you should have driven this road or whatever and so on. I'm sorry. Here in Cape Town, whatever road we take, we see a lot of Porsches, some Lamborghinis, some Ferraris. Okay, I don't see any Bentleys here, I must admit, you know, but Aston Martins and stuff, there's a lot in Cape Town, and you see it every day. So I was very disappointed with that. But anyway, let me get over that now for now. So we're off to the shopping center, the Dubai Mall. You gotta leave 3 days for yourself to walk through that shopping center. Dude, it's humongous. We never walked so much in our life. And just the electronic stores in the shopping center is more shops than what some of the big shopping centers here in South Africa has. It's mind-boggling. Just the enormousness of this whole place. And in the center of the shopping center, you find a incredibly big aquarium. I can't tell you how big. I'll put the footage up. It's beautiful. It's all these exotic sea creatures that is in there. And this huge aquarium in the middle of the shopping center. I mean, you can't get more crazier than that. And while we really enjoyed our time in the shopping center, it's an absolute must-see. Now, just next to the shopping center is the Burj Khalifa, which is currently the second biggest building in the world, I think. Impressive building, beautiful. Between the Burj Khalifa and the Dubai Mall is a huge lake, a man-made lake. Let's call it about 2 kilometer lake. It's huge. It's really big. And in this lake, on the half hour, every half hour, they got this beautiful water show on this music of Skyfall, the movie Sky, the James Bond movie Skyfall. It's the theme song. I think it's a theme song of Skyfall. And I'm telling you, that was the single thing that impressed me most in the whole of Dubai. That was absolutely awe-inspiring. The first of all, the music was over this incredibly high fidelity sound system that really gives some class to the whole thing. And then secondly, the magnitude of the water show is incredible. It stretches nearly over the whole lake. So it's nearly, let's say it's longer than a kilometer, the whole water show. So you must actually be careful what angle you go and stand to watch the whole show. But the angle that we stood, it was still crazy impressive. At the climax of the song, there would be water spouting up with cannons. And I'm telling you, when it goes off and that water shoots, it hits you in the chest because it's like a bomb exploding. They go up to, I don't want to exaggerate here, but this is like 15 stories high. It is humongous. The scale of it is just so incredible. But in the end, it's just how everything fits together. It's the awesomeness of the whole show. That was incredibly. That's free. You're not paying a cent. So it's an absolute must-see when you're in Dubai. After the shopping center, we went up to the Burj Khalifa. Now there you pay. It's not cheap again. You buy your tickets, you go up to the Burj Khalifa to the 125th floor, and then you would look, over the whole city, walk around with glass panels, 360 view basically of the whole city. It was an experience and was beautiful, and that allows you to see the architecture much better. So after the Burj Khalifa, we did our last day of excursion. We went dune basing. Also not a cheap experience. You have to fork out your bit of money to go on it. You go in one of those big Toyota Land Cruisers, and they take you into the dunes, and they really go crazy. I saw many cars that had to stop and people getting out and throwing up because they couldn't handle all the ups and downs and going crazy. We had a bit of a rookie, our guy. He got stuck 3 times. It was hot. I never experienced such a hot day in my life. The car showed 43 degrees Celsius. I think it was hotter than that. It was crazy. You couldn't touch the sand in the desert. It was untouchable. It was hot. It burned you. And when he got stuck one or twice, we had to actually get out of the vehicle so that they can get the vehicle unstuck. And getting out of an air-con vehicle in the middle of a desert, it's sitting on sand you can't touch, it's not so nice. I didn't like that part. So I'm actually putting a clip. I made a clip of a video of one case while we were sitting, so I'm going to put it in for you. In the desert, hot desert, we got stuck with a vehicle, and they're trying to get it out here. We're in a pit between 2 sand dunes. There it is out. Okay, so let me go and climb in the vehicle. Cheers, everybody. After the dune bashing, we were also allowed to do some either sand surfing or sandboarding. And that was nice. I took my chance there. I chose the sandboarding rather, simply because I was not in the mood. Standing up and hitting face first into this hot sand was easier sitting down, and I had a bit more control. So I went down the dune. It was fun. Trying to get back up the dune was not that much fun. Then after that, we went to what they call a Bedouin camp. I think it was not the original Bedouin camp. It was made for tourism aspects. So at this Bedouin camp, we went camel riding. That was a nice experience. Riding camel in the desert, I mean, it gives you an insight a little bit more as to, how they had to do it in the old days. And probably still doing it to some degree. The camels are terribly uncomfortable. I don't know how they actually did it. But anyway, Then we went to eat. The food was average, nothing fancy. There was some belly dancing. There was actually also a guy dancing. Then they did some henna painting. My wife asked them to paint a cross on a wrist, and they couldn't understand it. They didn't understand what cross, until one of them snapped and says, "Oh, the Christian cross." And my wife said, "Yes, please." Okay, and then they paint a nice cross on the wrist. They actually also dressed us up into traditional clothing. So I think I would have made a quite good shake, eh? Yeah. So my wife was the first woman in my harem. So she also dressed up. I've never sweat so much in my life that day. It was the single hottest day I ever experienced in my whole life. So when we eventually back at the hotel, I was glad the day was over, but it was an experience to remember for the rest of my life. That was basically it. Then we were off to, the airport, and flying Emirates again back to Cape Town. Flight went smooth, and the moment that I landed in Cape Town, I realized, driving back to Table View, saw the beautiful sunset, the openness, the spaces, the beauty, the nature. I realized that I am so blessed. We're living in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and I don't want to go and stay anywhere else on this whole planet. So I say thank you to God. That was an awesome experience. I'll try and make a video of every one of my adventures. Cheers, guys.